The Old Man's Test. Out on the edge of town, Grandpa Ahmed sat in the dirt yard of his clay house on a woven palm mat with nothing but an old palm tree for company, the one he planted on his wedding day. His wrinkled face looked like parched earth that seen too many seasons, and his eyes wandered the horizon like they were hunting for lost times or echoes that used to fill the place. He'd poured his whole life into raising his 3 kids, Mohammed, Omar, and little Fatima. He did it all solo after death stole away his sweet wife, shouldering the load year after year till they grew into men and a woman, all making good money. But when the silver thread started weaving through his hair, all they had left from him were monthly checks and cold letters that didn't carry a lick of warmth. Ahmed knew deep down that cash don't feed the soul or replace a gentle touch when the body's getting frail in old age, you know. One frosty night, he sat alone, fiddling with an old rosary that belonged to his wife, closed his eyes, and the memories came flooding in. Muhammad's giggles as he ran barefoot, Omar's whoops climbing the palm tree, Fatima's whispers begging for one more bedtime story. He cracked open his Quran and read from Surah Al-Isra till he hit that verse, "And your Lord has decreed that you not worship except him, and to parents good treatment." He repeated it 3 times, then nutted to himself. Is this good treatment, shipping me off and stuffing my heart's cry with a bag of money? That's when Ahmed made up his mind for the big move. He'd go to 'em one by one, not to complain or beg, but just to test their hearts. Late that night, he washed up, prayed, packed his threadbare bag, blew out the oil lamp, and whispered, "God rest you, Mama Mohammed. You left me facing my twilight years all by my lonesome." He stepped out into the road, not knowing where it'd lead, but heading out to see the truth with his own eyes. The trip took 2 days on the back of a rented mule, winding through hills that stripped bare under the summer sun, past tiny villages and withered palm groves. Every mile closer to the city, Ahmed's heart thumped harder. Would his grandkid even recognize him? Would Muhammad's eyes hold any of that old nostalgia, or would the meeting be as stiff as those letters? He rolled up right at sunset to his eldest boy Muhammad's place, that big-shot grain trader whose name buzzed through the markets for his sharp mind and fat wallet. Ahmed stood before this fancy new-built house he'd never stepped foot in. Grand door trimmed in brass, oil lamps flanking the sides, and a servant in crisp clothes lounging at the threshold, clueless about the visitor. Ahmed shuffled up slow, road-weary, and dust-caked in his robe. The servant stood, cool as ice. "Who are ya?" Ahmed replied, soft but steady, "Tell your boss Haj Ahmed, his old man's come from way out yonder." The guy eyed him a sec, then ducked inside, leaving Ahmed standing there with no shade, no welcome words. Heavy minutes dragged, then the servant popped back, "Step in, madam's waiting." No mention of Mohammed, no "your son's inside," just madam like he was some stranger crashing, not a dad after a long haul. Ahmed crossed into the yard, wide, carpeted, fancy, with ornate pots in the corners, but it felt cold, lifeless, like a showpiece with no soul. At the living room door stood Miriam, Muhammad's wife, all formal-like. "Welcome, uncle. We weren't tipped off 'bout you coming." Ahmed forced a smile, hiding his ragged breaths. "I ain't here to burden you, just dropping by to say howdy to my boy." She didn't dwell, just turned to the maid. "Take Muhammad's dad to that little room by the kitchen. Tidy it up quick." She said it casual, no shame, no eye contact. Ahmed felt something inside him shrivel, not 'cause of the humble digs, but 'cause the welcome itself was missing. The room was tiny, damp, chilled, reeking of mildew, with a lumpy cot that wouldn't suit a drifter. He perched on the bed's edge, staring at the crumbly wall, and whispered to himself, "It's all right, long as I'm under my boy's roof." But that night, no sign of Mohammed. First day, he waited by the evening prayer call, nothing. Second day, he asked the maid, "When's your master due back?" She shrugged cold, "Tied up at the market, don't show till late." Third day, he finally caught a glimpse at the door. Mohammed in a swanky robe, smelling of cologne, buzzing with energy and distraction. He threw open his arms. "Hey, Dad! Sorry, market's a madhouse these days." Ahmed managed a tired grin. "No sweat. I just came to lay eyes on you, not hear excuses." They shook hands, then Mohammed bolted like his time was too precious for his old man's twilight. That night, as Ahmed lay there, a harsh voice cut through the door. Mariam to the maid. "I told him not to see his dad right now. We got guests, and that old coot don't fit in the parlor. Ain't his clay shack enough for him?" Ahmed felt something inside him shrivel, not 'cause of the humble digs, but 'cause the welcome itself was missing. Ahmed didn't make a peep, just snuffed the lamp, pillowed his head on his arm, and let the tears roll, quiet, unheard. After a week, Mohammed saw him off with the same chill. "Need anything, Dad? I'll send food or cash with the servant." Ahmed looked up a beat, then said calm, "I need a heart, son, not handouts, and time, not words." Then he walked away, no looking back, hauling his bundle like before, but heavier now, like it carried a wounded soul from the boy he thought was closest. Ahmed slipped out of Mohammed's at dawn, trudging the dirt road in heavy silence. He didn't gripe or glance back, but his face was like a man who'd taken a slap, wearing it inside, not showing on the surface. His light had dimmed, tucked away. He told himself, maybe Omar'll patch what's broke. He was always closest to my heart, softest on the tongue. Hours later, he hit Omar's bustling city, alive with hustle, spice scents, perfumes, and crowds. He asked around for Omar Ahmed's place, that spice merchant, and got pointed to a mansion at the market's edge. Tall wooden gate, guards, stained glass windows. Ahmed paused before the door, not knocking right away, just gazing at those high walls like asking himself, is there room in this palace for a beat-down old man? He rapped, and out came a sharp-dressed servant. "Who?" Ahmed repeated the line that had grown heavy. "Tell your boss, Hajj Ahmed, his dad's at the door." The servant vanished, returned minutes later. "Madam's expecting ya." Second time, no son mentioned, no Master Omar's waiting, just Madam, the second cut, not from the word, but its meaning. Dad ain't boss here no more. He entered the plush joint, elegant decor, neat as a pin, but the quiet was icy, like no one lived there. At the end of the parlor stood Sarah, Omar's wife, all high and mighty look, words clipped tight. She eyed the old-timer like a ghost from a past she didn't care for. "We had no heads up you were coming." Ahmed kept cool. "I ain't in the habit of sending scouts ahead, just here to holler at my boy." She half smiled, then nodded to a maid. "Take Omar's dad to the servants' quarters behind the stable." No hesitation, no fear of ears, no shame in the saying. The room was chill, dim lit, cot rough as sandpaper, smelling like wet dirt. Ahmed sat quiet, scoping the place. Nothing here screamed kindness or respect. He muttered, "Feels like I'm a stranger among my own kids." Evening came, no Omar. Next day, he spotted his face flash by in the hall and called soft, "Son, didn't you hear I made it?" Omar shook his hand. "Busy as hell, Dad. Market don't quit, but the house is yours. Stay as long as you like." Then poof, gone. That night, Sarah's voice rang clear to the maid. "He needs to clear out before a week's end. We got a shindig for the Damascus traders, and I don't want whispers about Omar's dad bunking in the help spot." Ahmed's blood froze. No anger, no call out, just shut his eyes, wishing sleep would swallow these days whole. Fifth day, Omar swung by with a money pouch. "I know you ain't asking, but this is yours. I'll send more monthly as needed." Ahmed eyed him, set the pouch aside unopened. "Son, kindness ain't measured in coins, and you can't buy a happy heart with cash. I just came to see your mug." Next morning, Ahmed ghosted from the mansion. No goodbyes, no safe travels. He trudged the dirt path alone, silent, heart echoing one question: has money sucked the warmth right out of hearts? The answer walked with him every step. He pressed on, robe on his shoulder, fresh letdown in his chest, but unbroken. One flower left in my kids, Fatima. If I don't find warmth there, all my days done me wrong. Ahmed hit the dirt trail leading to a speck of a village among fields and orchards where the poor folks and the honest ones hang. Sun dipping low as he neared the edge, no stone houses or guards, just mud and reed huts with doors flung wide to breeze and neighbors. He crested a small hill, eyed one place, simple shack, half sun-baked, half shady, walls leaning a tad, roof thatched with palm trunks, but it smelled like warmth he hadn't sniffed in ages. This is it, Fatima's spot, my little one I sang to in the cradle. He neared the door, knocked with a shaky hand. Seconds ticked, then it swung open, and boom, tears filled his eyes. There stood Fatima in plain threads, face mirroring her mama's to a T. Eyes same as ever, kind, deep, ageless. She gasped, joy and shock. "Daddy, is that really you?" Burst into sobs. She rushed him, throwing herself into his arms, hugging fierce like apologizing for her brother's fails. "Dad, forgive me. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? Why alone?" He didn't answer, just laid a hand on her head, voice low. "Came looking for my girl, for my last bit of heart." Her hubby Omar stepped out, solid guy, calm features, eyes saying more than his mouth ever could. Soon as he clocked this was Fatima's pops, he kissed his hand. "Welcome home, Haj. The house is yours, spot's yours. God, we had no clue. Forgive us all." Ahmed smiled genuine for the first time in days. "God's forgiveness on y'all. I just needed to know there's still a place for me in your hearts." They sat in the yard, basic setup, little mulberry tree, prayer spot on a straw mat, brass kettle steaming cinnamon, no gold, no staff, no castle, but soul pure and simple. Fatima whipped up supper herself, served it hand to plate, then plopped on the ground beside him, not interrupting, not raising a voice. Omar poured water personal-like, sat with him like a son honors a dad in good times. That night, Ahmed crashed on a soft cotton pallet, felt like a palace of peace. Next day, Fatima asked, "Dad, did something happen? Did my brothers mess with you? Why the sadness?" He looked at her. "Darling, I thought I raised men. Turns out they're men in body, kids in kindness." She bowed her head, tears welling. "Here, you'll see only what makes you happy. Stay with us till your last breath, Dad. You ain't visiting, you're home." Days blurred, and Omar and Fatima's place turned into a warm oasis. Ahmed prayed at the village's tiny mosque, sat under the tree teaching kids Quran, spinning old yarns, laughing for the first time in years. One day to Omar, "Son, this humble house feels richer to me than my boys' palaces." Omar grinned. "We ain't got much, but we've got contentment, and that's worth more than gold." One quiet night after evening prayers, Ahmed pulled Fatima aside. "Girl, I've got a trust I've been hiding for years. Time's come." She blinked. "What kind of trust?" He fished out a small leather pouch, pulled a wax-sealed old paper. "Key to a chest at my old pal Haj Khaled's, full of cash and jewels nobody knows about. Kept it waiting to see which kid earned it." She clapped a hand to her mouth. "Dad, why not tell him?" He said soft, "Waited for him to show kindness first before showing the money." Smiled through tears. "Now go to Khaled, tell him your dad sent you. He knows you've been keeping the secret 20 years. Come sunrise, Fatima headed to Khaled's, a spry 70-something, retired trader, wise and quiet, half blind but sharp. She knocked. He hobbled out on his stick, eyed her face, smiled. "Who ya?" "Ahmed's daughter. Dad wants his trust back." No questions, he swung the door, led her to an inner room smelling of aged wood and memories, pulled a carved chest from under the bed. "Your dad's a straight shooter. Told me 20 years back, hold this, hand it only to eyes showing true kindness. Saw it in yours today." Box was hefty, etched fancy. She hauled it home, barely believing, thanked him, and split. Set it before her dad, sat waiting. Ahmed's hand shook opening it. Gold pouch, antique gems, official deed to fertile riverland nobody knew of. He hugged the chest close, eyed his girl. "This is yours. Take it. Live easy. God don't let down who owns your heart." She tried refusing. He laid a hand on her head, voice like a will. "You showed kindness, loved without strings. Ain't payment for good deeds, just help for life's road." That night, Ahmed barely ate, looking peaceful like after a long haul. Sat in the yard gazing stars, told Omar, "Folks think goodbyes hit sudden, but they come when the heart quiets its last song and smiles." Morning came odd. He washed, prayed, sat in a corner praying beads. To Fatima, "Write my boys, say your dad's asking to see you. If you missed honoring him alive, don't miss his farewell." She penned it, sent a rider. Days passed, no show. 5th day, Ahmed at the door, staring road long. "Road too far or hearts shorter than I figured?" 6th night, sickness hit hard. He gripped her hand. "Fatima, if they come after I'm gone, just say, 'God forgive you.'" 7th dawn, she found him sleeping on his mat, head tilted, face serene, rosary in hand. He'd passed peaceful in his girl's faithful arms to the end. She washed him herself, shrouded him, buried him by the mulberry tree he loved. Next day, rain fell, first time in months. Villagers said the sky wept for a man who loved honor and died true. Since handing her the chest, Fatima's life flipped. Not just the house, but the feel, the weight lifted from her soul. Box tucked in a corner, but she felt it watching, asking, "What'll you do with me? Tempt you or open doors to good?" Enough inside to coast comfy forever. Gold, jewels, that land deed worth a fortune. Every glance reminded her of Dad's last words, 'cause you honored, not 'cause you asked. but her heart churned like a stormy sea. Nights she'd wonder, keep it? Dad said it's a reward, but what about my brothers? Ain't this from his sweat for all of us? One calm night under the tree with Omar, "Hubby, be straight, if you were me, what'd you do?" He pondered, gold's tested by fire, hearts by taking when you could, then choosing to give. His words sank deep. She decided. Penned her brothers. Dad left us a trust, split it fair. Your shares wait here, come if you want. Sent each a chunk of cash. 3 days, then they showed. Mohammed first on a flashy horse, face unreadable. Omar trailed in a new carriage pulled by steeds. They hit Fatima's yard, now spruced humble, whiff of quiet plenty without show. Mohammed scoped it. Well, damn, looks like your cut was generous. She shot back easy. Maybe my conscience was fuller. Omar chuckled light. Call us to divvy the trust, to preach morals. She stared long. No anger, just soft sorrow, hoping for an I'm sorry or God rest Dad, but zip. Didn't take more'n you, didn't hold back, split it like I'd split the grief if I could. Mohammed stood. Fair enough, thanks for the trust, good luck with what's left. Omar rose too, no word on Dad, not even a tear flicker. She watched them go, each clutching their share, leaving empty of honor. Gazed till they vanished, looked skyward. Lord, I didn't ask nothing, just hoped to see their hurt for Dad. But my heart's at peace, I did right by you. Slipped inside, curled in Dad's corner, shut eyes, felt his spirit grinning from afar. Good job, kiddo. Weeks rolled since the brothers bailed with their loot. No lesson learned, no memory carried. Fatima? Back to simple life, spending quiet, helping Omar work, joy and blessings, not coin count, but heart ease. One heavy evening, a neighbor knocked. Heard about Mohammed? What? His shop burned flat, lost everything in one go. Word is he's in hock to half the traders now. Fatima hushed, a pang, not glee. No gloating, God, but you don't waste reward for the kind, nor let greed linger long. Days later, market fella from next town to Omar, dead serious. You hear about the spice guy, Omar? Nah. Botched a big deal with Damascus traders, late on paying. They seized his goods, judge froze his biz till he settles. Fired help, shuttered shops, whole operations toast. Omar told Fatima. She went quiet long. Praise you, Lord. Forget parents' rights and blessings. Forget the way home. Omar hadn't bad-mouthed Dad, but shut his heart once. Now his door slammed too. Fatima shook her head to Omar. Wish those fellas knew honoring folks is the way, and building on denying Dad don't get blessed. Omar nodded. God's rule. Kindness sprouts good like soil grows seed. Denial looks tough but crumbles like eggshell. Her house glowed undeniable. Folks came for advice, poor knocked, neighbors whispered, never seen cash catch a woman and leave a heart purer. She split land income 3 ways, house, charity, quiet needs she spotted. One night, feels like Dad's hand still holds mine, like he didn't leave, just shifted spots to watch and rest easy. Oh my, 'cause you never broke faith. His vibe lives in your soul. Months eased by, her home settling into peace she never knew. Wasn't just wealth changing things, but knowing deep she honored Dad right. Fresh spring morn, dewy, Omar burst in grinning. Midwife said twins. He hugged her, her eyes misty but smiling. Boy and girl, hubby, picked names months back, kept quiet. He laughed, spill, soft, Ahmed for Dad, girl, Rahma, 'cause all this is mercy from God, then Dad's heart. He held her tender. Some names echo forever. Kids grew, her house rolled toward blessed calm. No palace built, clay home barely tweaked, patched roof, fixed walls, yard turned neighbor aid spot. Omar dove into fabric trading, known for honesty, drawing crowds from nearby hamlets. Fatima backed from afar, managed sales, tracked cash, handed zakat personal, no fanfare. Folks said, that woman's got a good man stamp, her and her ma's, eyes honest as they come.
One dusk knock, two guests, Mohammed and Omar, but plain clothes this time, faces etched with years' wear and deep shame. Mohammed, sis, we ain't here for dough, just a shot to start fresh. Omar lost it all, but hurt most, lost Dad's honor before losing him. Fatima, no tears, no blame, waved him in, served dates and milk. This house is Dad's, won't lock on his boys. Helped what she could, cash, good word in markets till they rebuilt. No arrogance, no blind spots, just hope days fix what hearts broke. Ahmed and Rama grew big. Villagers called them good stock from pure roots, inherited honor, not gold. One spring evening, she sat in her yard corner, beads at sunset, face calm, glowing, prayerful, eyes sparkling at something distant only she saw. Omar handed water, looking beat tonight. She smiled. All's right in my heart, love. Dad still grinning from afar. You did good, girl. Eyed the kids. Teach 'em honor. That's the only treasure that don't divide. That night she turned in early, head on pillow, wrapped in the robe from Dad's burial, like prepping for a meeting. Dawn, she didn't stir. Omar neared, called, no answer. Closer, hand on chest, face peaceful like post-prayer nap, but she'd slipped away quiet, echoing Dad's silence. That morning, village funeral, not for king or judge, but Fatima, Ahmed's girl. No titles, no power, but carried a big heart's trust, a good man's will, lived it, died on it. Whole hamlets wept. Women washed her, chanting, God rest you, Fatima. You didn't let down Dad, brothers, or Lord. Her story stuck, told gen to gen, Fatima's name synonymous with loyalty. That's how Grandpa Ahmed's yarn raps, the kind old dad who gave his life to raising, tested his kids' hearts in his sunset years, found some cold, some dead, till he hit one still beating, daughter Fatima's, who never raised voice or turned face, carried his trust, walked it through dark like light and night. End ain't the wealth or gold surprise. It's that honor ain't inherited. It's planted, watered, and harvested. Plant good in family, even late. Reap comes. See it or your kids will. Ahmed's tale ain't about money or heirs, about hearts under fire. He passed, but words live in his girl's home, in folks who heard and learned. Cash don't buy honor. Piety ain't weighed in gold, but in souls. Catch you in the next vid. Stay blessed, y'all.